Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most unexpected Arsenal transfer stories of the summer, and it's already dividing opinions across the fan base. When supporters imagined Arsenal strengthening their defence, many expected names like Jeremy Frimpong, Achraf Hakimi, or another exciting young fullback from Europe. If you love Arsenal as much as we do, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's dive straight into today's massive Arsenal news. Come on, you Gunners. Instead, a familiar Premier League name has suddenly entered the conversation. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Yes, the former Manchester United defender, now at West Ham United, has reportedly emerged as a player Arsenal have discussed internally while evaluating defensive reinforcements. At first glance, it sounds surprising. Some Arsenal fans immediately dismissed the rumour. Others started asking an important question. What if this actually makes football sense? Today, we're going to break down everything. Where did these reports come from? Why are Arsenal interested? How serious is the interest? Would Wan-Bissaka actually improve Mikel Arteta's squad? How much would he cost? Could he compete with Jurrien Timber? Would this affect Ben White's future? And finally, is this a transfer Arsenal should complete or avoid completely? Stay until the very end, because there are several tactical reasons why this story is far more interesting than many supporters initially believe. Let's begin with what is currently being reported. According to multiple reports, Arsenal's recruitment department has internally discussed Aaron Wan-Bissaka as they continue assessing defensive depth ahead of the new Premier League season. Notice the wording carefully. This is not yet being described as a formal bid. There is no confirmed agreement between Arsenal and West Ham. Instead, this is believed to be part of Arsenal's normal recruitment process. Every summer, clubs create extensive shortlists. Some names remain internal discussions. Others develop into negotiations. Only a handful eventually become completed transfers. Wan-Bissaka is reportedly among those names currently being evaluated. That alone tells us Arsenal's sporting department believes he deserves consideration. But why Aaron Wan-Bissaka? To understand this, we need to look at Arsenal's current defensive situation. Jurrien Timber has become one of Arteta's most trusted defenders. His versatility allows him to play as right back, left back, centre back, even an inverted fullback in midfield. Ben White remains another hugely important player. Takahiro Tomiyasu has offered versatility when fit. However, injuries over recent seasons have shown Arsenal one important lesson. You can never have too many reliable defenders. Arsenal are now competing on four fronts every season: Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup. That means potentially over 60 matches. Depth is no longer optional, it's essential. Imagine Arsenal facing Manchester City, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, Inter Milan. These are matches where defensive mistakes can decide entire seasons. Arteta knows this. Sporting director Andrea Berta also understands this. That is why Arsenal continue exploring experienced Premier League defenders alongside younger talents. Wan-Bissaka fits that profile. Let's talk about the player himself. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is now 28 years old. That places him in what many coaches consider the prime years for defenders. He combines experience with physical strength. He's played hundreds of Premier League matches. He's faced world-class wingers nearly every week: Mohamed Salah, Son Heung-min, Marcus Rashford, Vinicius Jr. in Europe, Bukayo Saka in training during England camps. Few defenders can say they've consistently faced such elite attackers. Experience matters, especially in title races. Now let's discuss his biggest strength: one-on-one defending. If you ask Premier League supporters to name the best tackling fullback of the last decade, Aaron Wan-Bissaka's name almost always appears. His tackling timing is exceptional. He rarely dives in recklessly. Instead, he waits, reads body movement, then stretches those remarkably long legs to win possession cleanly. That's why many fans nicknamed him the Spider. Because once attackers think they've escaped, he somehow reaches the ball again and again and again. Statistics over several seasons consistently placed him among the league leaders for successful tackles and defensive duels. Very few defenders enjoy facing quick wingers. Wan-Bissaka often relishes those battles. This defensive quality explains why Arsenal may be considering him. Arteta already has technically gifted defenders: Timber, White, Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba. But every squad also needs specialists, players who excel in specific situations. Wan-Bissaka offers something different: pure defensive excellence. Picture a Champions League knockout match. Arsenal are protecting a 1-0 lead. The opposition introduces an explosive winger in the final 20 minutes. Instead of asking an attacking fullback to defend huge spaces, Arteta could introduce Wan-Bissaka. Suddenly the game changes. His role becomes simple: stop the winger, win tackles, protect the lead. That tactical flexibility could prove extremely valuable. Another important factor is Premier League experience. Unlike overseas signings, Wan-Bissaka wouldn't need months to adapt. He already understands the pace, the physicality, the refereeing, the stadium atmospheres, the travel schedule, everything. That's often underestimated. Not every expensive signing immediately succeeds. Some need a year. Wan-Bissaka would arrive ready. However, this is where the debate becomes fascinating, because while Wan-Bissaka is outstanding defensively, he has also faced criticism throughout his career, particularly regarding his attacking contribution. Modern fullbacks are expected to do much more than defend. They're expected to create chances, cross accurately, invert into midfield, help control possession, progress the ball, join attacks, score occasionally. This is where opinions begin to divide. Arteta's system places enormous tactical demands on fullbacks. They don't simply run down the wing. Sometimes they become midfielders, sometimes extra centre-backs, sometimes playmakers. Could Wan-Bissaka perform those responsibilities consistently? That question may determine whether Arsenal actually move forward. Some analysts believe he has improved significantly on the ball during recent seasons. Others argue he still lacks the technical qualities Arteta usually demands. That debate continues. Let's also discuss the financial side. Reports suggest West Ham value Wan-Bissaka at approximately £25 million. Arsenal, however, reportedly consider that figure too high. Instead, they would prefer negotiating closer to £15 million. That creates an interesting gap, around £10 million. Will West Ham lower their asking price, or will Arsenal walk away? That may depend on several factors: the player's own wishes, West Ham's financial planning, competing offers, and Arsenal's other transfer priorities. Speaking of competition, Arsenal aren't alone. Everton are reportedly monitoring the situation. Turkish giants Fenerbahce have also been linked. Competition always complicates transfers. If multiple clubs enter negotiations, prices often increase. Players gain stronger bargaining positions, wages rise. Arsenal know this. But here's another interesting angle. Would Wan-Bissaka actually want to join Arsenal? For many players, Champions League football is hugely attractive. Arsenal currently offer regular European competition, a chance to compete for Premier League titles, an opportunity to work under Mikel Arteta, and the possibility of winning major trophies. Those factors could appeal to almost any experienced player. There's also another storyline: Manchester United. Wan-Bissaka spent years there. Joining Arsenal, one of United's historic rivals, would certainly attract headlines. Football has seen similar moves before, but they always generate discussion. Some supporters embrace them, others never do. One thing is certain: if Arsenal genuinely believe Wan-Bissaka improves their squad, past club affiliations won't matter. Arteta has consistently prioritised profile over reputation. If a player fits the tactical plan, he signs them. Simple. So, is this transfer realistic? At this stage, it remains an internal evaluation rather than an advanced negotiation. But in modern football, many completed deals begin exactly like this. Quiet discussions, scouting reports, internal meetings, financial calculations. Only later do negotiations become public. Could this story develop quickly? Absolutely. Could Arsenal ultimately choose another defender? That's also entirely possible. The coming weeks will reveal much more. Part 2 will examine Wan-Bissaka's tactical fit under Arteta in depth, compare him with Timber, Ben White and other Arsenal defenders, analyse his strengths and weaknesses using match scenarios, and explain why Arsenal's recruitment team may view him as a strategic signing.